This video is about my discography, but more generally, it's about how my albums fit into my fantasy lo-fi world and what they're pointing towards, which, of course, includes my next unnamed mystery album. But more on that later. I've wanted to make this video for a while now, and since I recently released my EP, Concourse of Somnolence, I thought it's a pretty good time to zoom out and show how my separate albums are related to each other. I've released Shrouded Visions, an EP, which is like a prequel to Starlight Florist, an LP, which is like the first book or mainline entry in the series, and lastly, Concourse of Somnolence, another EP, which is like an interlude or bridge connecting Starlight Florist to the next full-length album. For the foreseeable future, at least, I'm going to keep alternating between these shorter and longer releases. Full-length albums take a lot of time and work, especially because this is my solo project and I'm doing all the art and animation on top of the music. The timeline just gets really stretched out, so it helps to use smaller releases, the EPs, to fill in the gaps between the full lengths. But what is the storyline that runs through the albums? The answer to what lies at the center is not a single story, but the world itself. And the albums are like collections of short stories. They might be about different characters, events, or locations, but they're all set in the same world, and so they share similar themes. There's themes of technology, nostalgia, and retrofuturism, which go back to the very first animation I made. I drew a tube TV and old video game console, which is pretty clearly the PlayStation 1. It's the first console I had growing up, so I'm quite fond of it. But it did not have pixel graphics, like you see on the screen. It's a small break from reality, which I really enjoyed making, and later decided to do more of. Here, you can see that the technology is even more fantastical. The box which is floating at the center is beaming words onto a scroll, so it's futuristic technology, but in a high fantasy setting. And this mismatch is reinforced by how the candelabras and TV on the side are glitching as well. I should also say that within the music itself, like the audio, the noises of technology can be heard in basically every song I've released. Whether that's final crackle, glitches, beeps, hums, hiss, you name it, it's a layer of defects which comes between the listener and the music. Right in between. And it creates a sort of dreamlike quality. Dreams and nighttime are other common themes in my fantasy world. Sometimes this is idyllic and tranquil, just asking you to sit and stay a while. But other times, the dreams are more like nightmares, in the vein of H.P. Lovecraft and cosmic horror. As the name of my recent EP might suggest, Concourse of Somnolence spans the entire breadth of sleep. From the first track, Halcyon Memories, which essentially means idyllic and bygone, to the last track, Service Announcement, which feels cold, computerized, and foreboding, a course has been charted from dreams to nightmares. And that, finally, is where the next album will come in. If Shrouded Visions and Starlight Florist are the initial dreams, and Concourse of Somnolence is the transition into the next album, then that album will be the memories of the initial dreams. The main thing I want to explore is how dreams and nightmares, memories and visions are like thoughts which echo in our life. And that rather than discrete ideas, polar opposites, what happens when these things are superimposed? If we have a memory that becomes a nightmare in our sleep, and then later we have a memory of that nightmare, now it's a memory of a nightmare of a memory. And it's an echo of thought that goes against concrete reality. It sort of disrupts that rational notion that sometimes I think we cling to. When I released Starlight Florist, I alternated each title track with a dream track. And the dream tracks are different conceptions of the title tracks. They're not remixes or acoustic versions or a second movement or section. They're simply using the same chords, themes, or other materials to create something different. So I wondered, what if I go down the rabbit hole a step further? I already had dreams on the first album. So what if I make another album that is a memory of those dreams? And then add extra visions and memories on that album so that it is an echo of thought in my own repertoire. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm revisiting those first two albums, turning them upside down, inside out, and generally just twisting them until they become something new and pretty much unrecognizable. It's a lot of fun, and thank you for watching. I'll keep you all updated. Have a great day.